Let me pull you into a whirlwind of a tale that'll grip your heart like a vice and never let go. Picture this. It's a sweltering summer night in 1988, right in the heart of Brooklyn, New York, where the city lights flicker like distant stars against the humid sky. I'm 18, huddled in a dingy bus station, clutching a duffel bag stuffed with nothing but dreams and desperation, running from a home that was more prison than sanctuary. But just as the bus pulls up, promising freedom, a shadowy figure steps out of the alley, my father's brother, Uncle Ray, with a sneer that chills my blood. "You think you can run, freak? I'll drag you back myself." He lunges, his fist connecting with my jaw, sending me sprawling on the grimy pavement as onlookers gasp but do nothing. Blood trickles from my lip, mixing with tears, but I scramble aboard that bus, heart pounding like a drum in a parade. Little did I know that escape was just the beginning of a life riddled with cruelty's thorns and fate's twisted jokes. A story of a transgender woman's unbreakable spirit, forged in fire and tempered with hope. Sit tight, loves. This is my journey, shared at 55, with the wisdom of scars and the courage of survival. My name's Sophia Reynolds now, born Samuel in 1970, but I've always been Sophia in my soul, a transgender woman who's walked through hell and back in this land of the free. Growing up in Brooklyn during the 70s and 80s, life was a gritty mix of street smarts and dreams bigger than the Empire State Building. My family lived in a cramped brownstone in Bed-Stuy, where the sounds of hip-hop blared from boomboxes and kids played stickball till dusk. Dad was a construction worker, building skyscrapers by day and drowning his demons in beer by night. Mom was a seamstress, stitching dresses for Manhattan ladies while ignoring the rips in our own family fabric. Grandpa Joe lived with us, Dad's father, a retired dock worker with hands like ham hocks and a temper that could sour milk. From the moment I could walk, I knew I was different, playing with my cousin's dolls instead of trucks, feeling right in skirts I'd sneak from Mom's closet. But in our conservative Catholic household, where Sunday Mass was mandatory and gender was as fixed as the Statue of Liberty, that difference was a curse. The cruelty started early, seeping in like the damp from our leaky roof. At 5, Grandpa caught me trying on Mom's lipstick, my little face smeared red like a clown's. "What the hell is this, you little sissy?" he bellowed, his voice echoing through the house. He grabbed me by the arm, dragging me to the bathroom, forcing my head under the faucet to scrub it off till my skin raw and bleeding. "Boys don't do that shit. I'll beat the girl out of you." Dad joined in, belt in hand, whipping my legs till welts rose like angry welts. Mom stood in the doorway, eyes downcast, muttering prayers but saying nothing, her silence a betrayal sharper than any lash. Oh, the sympathy I craved like air, but all I got was more pain, lying in bed that night, sobbing into my pillow, wondering why God made me wrong. As I grew, the abuse escalated, spiced with moments so unbelievable you'd think they were from a bad movie. By 10, I was hiding my true self, but Grandpa's eagle eyes missed nothing. One afternoon after school, he found a dress I'd sewn from scraps, my secret project, a spark of joy in the darkness. "You disgusting freak!" he roared, pinning me against the wall, his breath reeking of whiskey. He burned the dress in the backyard barrel, forcing me to watch as flames devoured my dream, then punched me in the gut, doubling me over. Dad walked in, saw the scene, and instead of stopping it, joined the frenzy. "This ain't my son. You're a mistake." He kicked me while I was down, ribs cracking like dry twigs. "Mom," she busied herself in the kitchen, pretending not to hear my cries, her selfishness a silent knife twisting deeper. myself then. A child alone in a house of horrors, bandaging my own wounds with toilet paper, praying for escape. 13 years brought hellfire. At 13, during a family barbecue, 4th of July, with fireworks popping over the East River, Grandpa got drunk, cornering me in the basement. "Time to man up, pansy," he slurred, forcing me into rough play fighting, but it turned vicious, pinning me down, choking me till stars danced in my vision. "Cry like a girl, huh? I'll give you something to cry about." Dad laughed from upstairs, calling it tough love, while Mom served potato salad, ignoring my pleas. Unbelievable twist. That night, I discovered Grandpa's secret, a hidden box of women's clothes in his closet. Hypocrite. But fear kept me silent, the abuse continuing. Slaps for acting girly, belts for long hair, locks on my door at night to keep the devil out. Sympathy swelled in my chest for the girl inside, trapped and screaming as I endured, grades slipping but spirit flickering. By 16, the cruelty peaked in a moment so spiced with drama, it'll chill your blood. Dad caught me kissing a boy behind the school, my first taste of acceptance. "You filthy queer!" he exploded that night, dragging me home by the hair. Grandpa waited with a baseball bat, swinging at my legs as Dad held me down. "We'll beat the sin out of you." Cracks echoed, bones bruising, blood pooling. Mom watched from the doorway, tears in her eyes but words absent. "It's for your own good." I limped to school the next day, hiding limps with lies about falling off my bike. Unbelievable. The boy I kissed turned out to be a lifeline, sneaking me books on gender identity from the library, planting seeds of hope amid the thorns. At 18, I fled that house of horrors, heart racing like a subway train. I moved in with Jamie, a kind soul I met at an underground support group for LGBTQ youth in Greenwich Village, back when Stonewall's spirit still echoed. Jamie was 22, a waiter with a tiny apartment in the village, offering shelter and understanding. "You're beautiful as you are, Sophia," he'd say, the first to use my true name. We lived frugally, ramen nights, thrift store finds, but it was freedom. I started hormones, saving from waitressing gigs, feeling my body align with my soul. Sympathy for my past faded into hope. We dreamed of marriage once laws changed, but fate, that cruel jester, delivered another disaster you won't believe. One night in 1990, Jamie came home late, eyes shifty. "Sophia, I messed up." He'd gambled our savings at an underground casino in Atlantic City. $5,000 gone in a poker game rigged by mob types. Debt collectors pounded our door days later, threatening violence. In a twist spicier than Cajun gumbo, Jamie confessed he'd cheated with a man from the casino, leaving me for him and the promise of easy money. Abandoned again, I faced eviction, alone in the city that never sleeps. Sympathy crashed over me like a tidal wave. I slept on subway benches, scavenging for food, questioning if I'd ever escape cruelty's cycle. Unbelievable moments piled on like New York traffic. In 92, during a blizzard that blanketed the city, I collapsed from exhaustion outside a diner. A stranger, a wealthy philanthropist, found me, took me to a hospital, and upon hearing my story, offered a job as his assistant. Hope sparked, but twist. He was a con artist, using me to forge documents for his scams. When the FBI raided, I barely escaped arrest, running through snow-slicked streets, heart-pounding. Sympathy for my naivety burned, but it taught resilience. I moved to San Francisco in surgeon in trans community during the AIDS crisis, volunteering at clinics, healing others while mending myself. The naughties brought more spice. At 35, I fell for Elena, a fellow activist. We built a life, protests for trans rights, cozy apartments overlooking the bay. But disaster struck in 2008's recession. Elena lost her job, turned to drink, becoming abusive like my past ghosts. "You're not a real woman," she'd slur, slapping me during arguments. Unbelievable. She left me for my best friend, stealing our savings. Broke and broken, I hit rock bottom, contemplating the Golden Gate's dark waters. Sympathy from support groups pulled me back. Therapy at LGBT centers, finding strength in stories like mine. By 40, I transitioned fully, surging ahead with courage. Working as a counselor in LA, helping trans youth. But twist. In 2015, a client turned stalker, breaking into my home, threatening with a knife. "If I can't have you." Police intervened, but the terror lingered. Unbelievable survival. I fought back, using self-defense from Brooklyn streets, subduing him till help came. Now at 55, living in sunny Miami, I've found peace, advocating for trans rights, writing memoirs, surrounded by chosen family. The cruelty shaped me, but hope won. Remember, dears, in America's mosaic, where storms rage, courage and sympathy light